Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for another digital event with ArchVision. We are excited today to host Exploring Enscape Impact, Unlocking Better Building Design. My name is Kelsey. I am a Sales Operations Manager here at ArchVision. I'm joined today by Corey Rubidoux, CEO, and Dilyana Nikova, Project Manager, Enscape Impact. Dilyana, as a project manager for Enscape Impact, leads the development of an innovative building performance analysis tool that supports sustainable and highly efficient design. Previously, she's worked on large-scale digitization, so sorry, projects in a transportation construction sectors where she modernized and standardized workflows. We are super excited to have her presenting today. As in the presentation, she's going to show some progressive highlights of Enscape Impact, 2025 roadmap, and how you can benefit from using Impact. A little bit about today's event. We will have the chat open. You're welcome to post questions throughout the way. We will get to them in the Q&A at the end. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Dilyana.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, for having me. And your presentation actually shows how hard digitalization is in different aspects. All right, guys, I will share my screen. Let's start our presentation. This is the agenda we'll be having for today. I will start with a short introduction for those of you who do not yet know what is Enscape Impact. Then I will do a short live demo. Afterwards, we'll talk about the highlights in the progress we have made, because we've already had a webinar on that topic and we want to be transparent and show you how the product actually progresses and to see how we're going forward. Then I'll show the roadmap for this year and use case that we have prepared with a short video showing you how you could leverage from the insights Enscape Impact provides. And then, we'll have a short Q&A session. So, a little bit of introduction of Enscape Impact. We all know, as working in the IC industry, that buildings are accountable for a large portion of the global carbon emissions. And yet, for most of the buildings that are built, we do not analyze their performance and just live with the results of this. Usually, projects that go through certifications are the only ones that are being analyzed today. And what we aim with Impact is to provide every architect with key insights of how their building would perform and integrate this into their workflow. Because the current tools that are on the market usually require building a specific analytical model, which takes time. And by the time it is being analyzed and the architect receives the result, the design is already old. We did this together with our partner IES, which is a renowned company in the industry, and we rely on their calculation engine. And this supports Enscape's vision to create a better environment through sustainable designs. How Enscape Impact does this? It's a tool that works fast. It's not instant like Enscape, but you do not need to wait for hours to see the results. And it can give you insights before the cost has increased. You know that the later in the project you make changes, the more expensive they are. It allows you to stay competitive by showcasing the sustainable uh, insights, and you don't need any expertise to leverage those insights. So what we say is faster iterations lead to better design. You could present more variants with the insights that belong to them, and this way win more projects with the data-driven design. And now it's time for a short demo. I chose to use Revit. Enscape Impact works with all of the host application that Enscape supports, meaning Revit, Vectorworks, Rhino, SketchUp, and ArchiCAD. So you could use it with all of these if you're on a Windows machine. So for the sake of the demo, I have already started Enscape Impact, but have not run any analysis on it. And here you can see our new design. For those that are already familiar with it, we have this new button. And Enscape Impact will ask you for a little bit of information so that we could perform the analysis. The first part of the information is the location. This is important so we can tell what is the climate on the place your site is. We detect the location from the project, from the host application, but you can change it manually or add it manually in case it is lacking. Here, the Revit project already has a location, so it is filled in. The building type is really important because our partners from IES have developed default templates that we apply so that you can see analysis results without being required to enter manually a lot of data. These templates are developed in the best way and are being informed by the ASHRAE standards for the appropriate years. Currently, we have these 6 building types. I'm going to select the office one just because my project looks like an office building. Then we need the building year due to the fact that in the different building years, different ASHRAE standards are applied. So let's say that this building is going to be built this year. The renovation year is optional, and this is related to the use case where you want to renovate a building and see how this renovation would influence the energy needs of the building, which is a great use case. And in Europe, for example, we do renovate a lot of historical buildings. Now we need to wait a little bit for the analysis. For this building, it will be less than a minute, let's say, to see the results. What is really important to know is, yeah, here we have the results already. You needn't prepare your project specifically for the analysis. If you have used Enscape's assets and site context, for example, if you have used custom assets, though, we advise you to hide those layers meaning to prepare a specific view for the analysis. All right, and here we can already see our insights. The first one is the peak loads. We have divided now the peak loads for heating and cooling, allowing you to analyze based on the location and climate which peak load is higher, so you know how to size your plant for the building. The next one is the total operational carbon emissions, which will tell you which are based on the energy requirements of the building at that location. We also have the energy use intensity, which we compare to similar buildings, meaning building types on a similar climate zone. And here you can see that compared to other buildings, the energy use intensity is low. You can see it here in the dial. The other insight we currently provide is the energy use intensity. This is the energy required for the whole year, which is divided for the different consumption types, meaning for cooling, hot water, lighting, heating, and equipment. These metrics on the dashboard are for the whole building, but here in the performance map, you can have insights that are room-based. For example, if we select the heating peak loads, we can see which rooms have more demand for the heating peak load. We can see, for example, that these rooms on the lower level have a higher energy demand than the upper ones. We could change the metric, for example, show the annual heating energy. We can see that the visualization changed. And these rooms contribute less to the annual heating energy. We can always change the parameters we entered initially through here, and this would trigger a different analysis result if we change the type or the building location. And later in the presentation, I will show you how you could explore variants of your design. So now I will get back to the presentation. All right, let's see how we progressed in the versions that we released. From this year, we went into a continuous delivery cycle, meaning that we will be releasing Enscape versions every month. And hopefully every month we will add some improvements to Impact as well. So what we did is analyze the early feedback for Enscape Impact. And what we understood from these surveys is that the users appreciate how fast and near real-time results it gives. They like how easy it is to read the data, and that is built with a trusted technology, and they see benefit from using it in the early design stages. It can be used for communication. What challenges they faced? This is a really important part to me as a product manager, getting the feedback on what we didn't do right. Users wanted to see more detailed metrics and to have more control over the default templates that we are using. They also wanted to verify the data by various exports and have customizable color schemes to the performance maps. And also to have a more integrated workflow with their sustainability departments. These insights were really valuable to us, and we will incorporate them in our roadmap. And what I want to show you here is how we developed Enscape Impact in terms of comparing the version's accuracy to ISVE, which is the professional specialized tool that IES has, compared to Impact. You can see that with the earlier versions, we had these differences in the metrics. This is 4.1. And when we tested with 4.2, you can see the trends. The differences in result are significantly less for all of the metrics we provide. And specifically, yeah, our best is the hot water, which is less than 0.5%. And we're really happy with this result. And we hope to keep it up. We actually published these results on our page so that you can see them. The next insight is comparing design options for the whole building between the versions of Impact and the IES model. And you can see the variance is also quite good, less than 2%, actually. We have a testing protocol that we follow. So with every version that has a significant change, we will test those use cases. And I think to share actually from the last release we had, we managed to have a 30% better performance, meaning that it will be 30% less time to get the results. And now I will share our roadmap for the next year. First item is the UI refinement. As I already showed, this is the new UI, which has a much better onboarding process. And we try to explain the results on the dashboard in a better way. The next thing we are going to add with our next release, which is coming next week, is additional building types. We are going to cover also hospitality sector, sports, and industrial buildings, so that you can use Impact in a larger variety of projects. The next functionality we'll be adding in the first part of the year is the thermal comfort analysis. We got the feedback that this type of analysis is really important and meaningful for architects. This will allow for architects to explore how the occupants of the building are going to feel in certain rooms or spaces, and they can take design measures to improve this. The thermal comfort analysis will also allow users to have better control over the accuracy of the analysis by introducing the concept of space and creating the mixed building type. Currently, you assign a type to the whole building. For example, as I selected an office building, but we all know that rarely buildings are of one type. With the space types, you will be able to assign, for example, a garage type, which is an unconditioned space, and have offices on the upper floors. So the energy model of the building will be much more accurate than it is now. And another really nice functionality that we're adding with thermal comfort is a section 2 that will allow you to explore the performance maps floor by floor, because we heard the feedback our users gave us that it is hard to explore all the rooms. And we do not recommend having sections in the host application, as this corrupts the building envelope and the analysis. For the second part of the year, we'll be working on advanced project settings, meaning allowing for the users to customize the default templates we apply. Users will gain control over components of the building construction, like, for example, the facade. They will be able to modify it, the R value of the facade, the R value of the glass. So in this way, the energy model will be closer to the real building, and the analysis will be even better. Another thing that we consider allowing users to change is, for example, the occupancy pattern of the building. The next functionality we'll be working on is daylight analysis. This is something really close to the architects and really important to improve the thermal comfort analysis as well, because with the daylight analysis, we'll take into account the shading of the site and shading elements of the building, which currently do not affect the analysis. And of course, a really core functionality that we'll be working on this year is the data exports. Data exports are really a requested functionality that will allow the users to take their analysis, keep track of the variants, and also promote an integrated workflow with the sustainability departments and engineers in the company. So this is for our roadmap. And now I'm going to show you a little video what you can do with Enscape Impact to explore. Let's see. Yes, it started. So in this video, we are updating the orientation of the building to see how the values in the energy analysis will change. I'm sorry for not showing it live, but it's not that easy to modify it live. So the colleagues recorded this for me. So yeah, here we can see the analysis and how the results changed. And also we can see how it changes when you change the windows, for example. Here the colleagues are adding more glazing to the building as a variant. You can, of course, save your variants within either different projects or different views of the project so that you can compare them and take them. And yeah, here we can see the different results for design option A with less glazing and design option B with more glazing. And I know that this is really common in the earlier design stages, so that you can have informed decisions on why to choose this design or this one, or at least your customer will be informed what to expect if he approves. this design with more glazing, for example. And here is a QR code for you guys that you can find Enscape Impact and understand more about it, or contact us with questions. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And now it's time for questions.
Thank you, Dilyana. Yeah, very, very exciting, and the roadmap sounds really encouraging for all the advancements coming. So I know you said we're looking at having that first round, you said within the next month, and then is there a sort of a timeline for the next round of improvements?
Well, yeah, probably by June we'll have thermal comfort, because I don't know if you heard, but Chaos has acquired a new AI company, and we're looking into integrating it and adding this to the portfolio. So we'll put some focus on this as well, to integrate it with Enscape and allow users to have more things in their workflow.
Exciting. All right. Let me go over here to the chat and see. We do invite anybody who has a question to put them in the chat for us. I do have a couple things here. It looks like, so can you sort of tell us, why you chose to develop Enscape Impact at all?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
So why develop Enscape Impact?
Well, we believe that buildings should be not only pretty, but they need to be performing well. And this is of interest to their occupants and building managers and so on. So why not go into that direction? And even another reason is the fact that visualization is changing. We have all those AI tools that help us, but the performance will stay, and we need to think about it.
Okay. See here. What happens if you touched a little bit on this. What happens if I change the materials I use?
Well, currently, Enscape Impact works with glazing only, and this is based on the transparency of the material. We detect the geometry ourselves. We do not depend on the CAD host application for this. Why we did it in this way is because the different host applications transfer the geometry in a different way, and we wanted a solution that is appropriate for all of them. So we developed it ourselves, and so far, for the early design stage, we decided that this is good enough. In later versions, we plan to include the materials, because we know that the materials are really important, and as designers model the variance in Enscape with materials, we could leverage this data. But actually, the advanced settings will enable the users to have control over these by setting the R value.
Okay. Let's see here. And somebody was asking how accurate are these results?
Well, they are accurate, as accurate as possible, depending on how your building is modeled and how close it is to the design template. But as I said, with the different iterations, the accuracy is going to be better. And the comparison I showed with the ISVE tool shows that if you have the same assumptions, Impact does a really close enough calculation within 2%, which is great for this design stage and for the limited amount of data we require.
Okay, thank you. Another one just came in too. Are there limitations with respect to the model? For example, will a highly complex model in scale and detail work seamlessly with Enscape Impact?
Yes, this is a great question. Limitation we have is actually the size of the scene. Uh, it needs to be less than 92 million cubic meters, which is strange, as I said now. But this is actually something huge in the scene. And this there is no such building in the world. Let's start from this. But this can be triggered, for example, as I said, if you use custom assets that Enscape treats as geometry. You can easily go through that just by hiding these. So there will be no limitations. But if you leave this custom geometry, Enscape will try to detect geometry out of these and probably will create rooms which do not actually exist. Once we add thermal comfort, you will have a space list, so you could control what we detected in an easier way. Currently, you can control this by enabling the performance map, and you will see all those colorful spaces around and see if we detected something wrong. So you can analyze it, and if we detected more rooms than expected, you can hide those elements and rerun the analysis with the correct geometry.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Let me see if there's any more questions here today. I don't see anything else. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on?
Mm, I would encourage for everybody to test it. We do have a free trial. You can, if you're an Enscape user, or even if you're not, you can ask for an Enscape trial, try it out, and give us feedback. Ask questions and request functionalities.
We've included our email for the sales team in the chat. Please reach out to us if you do have any other questions. If you are looking at adding Enscape to your tool belt, or I'm sorry, Impact to your tool belt, or if you were interested in the free trial. So, Dilyana, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today and for presenting. And again, we are excited about that roadmap and all the new features coming. And we look forward to having you again. With that, everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you.